Hello Dark Souls fans, it's Dave from Polygon, and we're going to fight Aldrich, Devourer of Gods. 2 phases to this fight, as is common in Dark Souls 3. The first one actually shares some similarities with the Crystal Sage fight from earlier. What do I mean by that? Well, your first priority should be to close the gap between you and the boss. That way, because it has ranged magic, they become more or less irrelevant if you're all up in its face. Aldrich relies on 3 ranged attacks. There's a salvo of magic rounds, which you can avoid by using the columns or the environment as a barrier. There's a single large magic attack, which you can avoid with a roll as it's coming at you. And then, of course, there's the old rain of arrows, which you can block if you have a shield that has high magic damage resistance, or, again, use the environment, the columns, as a barrier. Now, if you are a magic user, you can just go back and forth with magic the entire time if you like. Otherwise, you can be aggressive. Again, get up in Aldrich's face and block or dodge the attacks from the front. Aldrich does this weird thing. It's called diving into the ground. And that's a temporary escape, which would be a nice move for us to have, but we don't. The good news is you can actually deal a couple of hits during that animation. So as soon as Aldrich disappears, head for the center of the room and start looking around to see where Aldrich might be. Also a great time to heal. The second phase begins when your enemy's blade gets inflamed. That's kind of a theme in Dark Souls, isn't it? Don't worry so much about those flames on the ground. They are not going to hurt much. Aldrich's patterns really aren't different from before, except that rain of arrows now homes in on you for several seconds, so be ready to move. Block if you have to, or use the environment, which would be even better. You can prevent that attack entirely if you can keep Aldrich distracted with melee attacks. And you do the same thing we said to do when you started, which is close the gap after it teleports.